Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late May 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card just to dip our toes in the energy and see what's going on for the lovely Cancerians. I hope you're all doing fabulous, my friends. Let's shuffle it up one time. See what we got for you this week. Talk to me, my guides. What's up with Cancer, please? And thank you. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock. What do we got for Cancer here in late May, please, as we are getting closer and closer to Cancer season. It's always interesting when your zodiac sign swings into the sun, right? Okay, so there is this little card of temptation showing up, and I've been seeing this for a few different signs this week, like different areas of temptation that we might have to take a look at. Now, before we really dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the May subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about this card. So it does show up for different signs from time to time. We see this devil-like figure, and it's not as harsh as the devil in the tarot deck itself. When I see this, you see Eve, you see the serpent, you see the apple. To me, this is all about temptation, right? Or someone making you an offer you can't refuse. So in this time, if you've been trying to refrain from something, whether it's a behavior, whether it's an individual, this card does say that, hey, you might be tempted to revert back or cave into old ways of thinking and acting when this card shows up. Another thing with this card is, yeah, there might be something that seems very alluring to you, but there might be some forbidden fruit type of aspect where it may be alluring, but there might be something attached to it that isn't desirable. So watch out for things like that. We're not going to go too deep on this. It is what it is. I always say that first card doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a footnote. Let's get into tarot. We're going to shuffle it up one time and get you 3 cards and up right before we get the intuitive, juicy stuff flowing. So let's see what we have here for Cancer, please. Guys. So last week's reading, it was interesting. It was based around communication. It was titled, They Want to Talk. So there may have been somebody that wants to get your attention, grab your ear, have a conversation about something. It could also be vice versa. Maybe there was someone you want to have a conversation with. But we'll see what shows up this week. You know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, right? Because we could be seeing your vibe or someone you're connected to, someone who's in your circle of influence. Let's get you 3. Let's see what we have for Cancer. Let's start this off nice, my friends. All right, so we're starting off with a card that can be a bit of a challenge. We have the 3 of Swords. Somebody might be in their feelings a little bit here. Hopefully not you. Okay, to me, it doesn't feel like decimated. This does feel like something that's a bit of an annoyance. Let's get 2 more. We'll talk about it more, right? You know, all cards have positive and negative. Lots of sword energy here. We have the King of Swords himself showing up in position number 2. Could be an air sign you're connected to. Yeah, we're really going to have to talk about these. Sword energy is very mental, but it's also communication. Let's get 1 more. Thank you. Okay. So we have the 10 of Wands here on the back end. There are going to be some things that we need to have a little chat about. So whether this is you or somebody else, you also have a bonus, which is the Page of Swords. And I will tell you, this Page of Swords has been all over the Zodiac this week. Like, I'd say more than half of the Zodiac have seen that card pop up this week. Now, let's go through one by one. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into the juicy, intuitive stuff. At first glance, when I look down at this spread, as you can see, there is tons of sword energy. Swords represent the mind, the thought process, but also communication. We also have the Wands, the 10 of Wands, which could be very fiery, and you know me with elements. When we combine them and look at how they react to each other, when we mix fire and air, that could be kaboom energy, which could be good or bad. But let's go through one by one. Position number 1, we have the 3 of Swords. This is one of the most iconic cards in the whole entire tarot deck. You see the 3 swords cutting through the heart, right? Now, I always say this energy is very much on a spectrum. This could be feelings of gloominess, a little down in the dumps, a little bit of depression possibly, but this could also represent somebody who is full on heartbroken. So not necessarily saying it's you, but there is some sort of pain here, right, when we have this card. So we're really going to want to investigate this, check it out further. And it was giving me the vibe of a little disgruntledness, like there might be something annoying you, or you might be annoyed by someone's behavior. We'll just see how it all plays out. But very powerful sword type of energy. You could have an extremely active mind in this time. Moving to the center, we have the King of Swords. Let me just get this card all straightened out to the best of my ability. Now, the King of Swords could represent an air sign. So we're talking Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. It doesn't just have to be a male. It could be male, female, anything in between. The King of Swords is a planner. It's a card that is extremely determined. So when it's next to two cards that could be seen as challenges, you might be very determined, especially with the Ten of Wands, to keep pushing, keep moving. Nothing's going to stop you or slow you down. This is a big plan-based strategy type of energy. So either you need to plan something out or someone you're connected to is making some plans. I also say, just like the Queen of Swords, this energy is no nonsense, straight, honest, to the point. It's going to tell it to you like it is. So some of you might be stepping into that energy, where Cancerians are generally known for deep emotion and a softer touch. You might be hardening that stance in regards to certain people when this card shows up. And there's an air of seriousness whenever the King or Queen of Swords shows up. So we'll definitely want to dive into that further. Now, moving to the back end, and there could be possible warnings here. It's all good. We have the Ten of Wands. You see this card, a person carrying a huge bundle of sticks. This could be somebody that has a bit of a burden, a lot of weight on their shoulders. It could be mental. It could be emotional. It could even be physical. Watch out for physical ailments when this card shows up, like getting sick, injuries, stuff like that. Especially with the neck, back, and spine. Whenever I see this Ten of Wands, you might need some sort of massage. You might need a rub down when this card shows up. You might need to take a break or a rest. That's big. Regenerate, take care of yourself, self-love, self-care. That's what I think of when I see this Ten of Wands, but it's also determined. So whereas we do see some challenges show up, the fact that we have the Ten of Wands next to this King of Swords, like this, there could be a lot of determination and grit to keep pushing. Now, right to the very back end, we have one more little footnote. We have the Page of Swords, more air sign energy. This could represent a younger individual as well. Even a child. Pages are communicators. They're also students, so you might be trying to learn something new. This energy can be a little bit defensive, so if there are talks and conversations happening, this is someone who could be a little skeptical. I just have to say, though, Page of Swords is the spy of the tarot deck, so you might be under someone's microscope, or you could have someone under yours. The way it's making me feel in this bonus situation is like this page is watching everything that's elapsing over here. So let's dive deeper on all the Cancer. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle going here. What's going on with my Cancerians, please? Yes, my friends, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Three of Swords time. Okay. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why this box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Cancer, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Three of Swords. Why is that Three of Swords here? Thank you. Two of Cups in reverse. Yeah, something might just... This is like oil and water. All right, this could be just something like some sort of deep emotional connection or even a soul connection where at the time it's like they're repelling. So in this time, there might be some shakeups or issues in interpersonal relationships here. We have the Two of Cups in reverse under this Three of Swords. Either this is some sort of connection to you where right now it's just tough. It's not seeing eye to eye. Like this is a challenging connection. Or this could just be Spirit saying like, hey, someone you are very closely connected to is going through a very difficult and tough time, and they might need some sort of help or assistance, okay? And it's up to you if you care or not, right? Like, who knows the history between you and another individual? But I feel like it's one or the other, right? Either you and somebody else right now, it's very tough, not seeing eye to eye. This could be a warning against arguments, conflicts, stuff like that. Like with the Two of Cups in reverse under the Three of Swords, there could be big conflict energy, especially with all this air and fire. but there might just be someone you're connected to that is hurting, going through something, they're in some sort of pain, and spirit might want to highlight that for whatever reason. So that could be a warning about interpersonal relationships. We're going to keep moving over to the King of Swords. We're not going to get too caught up here. We're just going to keep it flying over. So why is that King of Swords here? We'll see how it all looks. We'll see the big picture when we finally get to that 10 of Wands. But there could be a couple of warnings here. Where's that King of Swords here? Judgment. Okay. Yeah, very tough decision. You might have to make a very tough judgment call or take some sort of serious action. Okay. Even if you're in Page of Swords mode and you're just sitting by and you're watching something, like, you might be called to make some sort of serious move here with Judgment under the King of Swords. Like, take your emotion out of it. Think with your brain. Think logically. Like, this is someone who has made a very difficult or tough decision. You could be going through various, like, serious or tough situations in this time. And Spirit could be telling you, like, hey, you might not like what you have to do. You might not like the decision you have to make, but sometimes you have to make it. Sometimes you have to do it for the best for everybody. Like, that's just what I'm feeling here. Now, Judgment, yes, decisions, choices, but it's a big card of action. Okay, so making that tough judgment call is showing up here. Yes, we do have some warnings showing up within the spread itself, but some of you might be going through, like, serious issues and situations. I'm absolutely feeling that. And it could be various different kinds, right? Might have to make some tough choices. We're going to move over to the 10 of Wands. I really don't want to pile on it too much, but we do have some warnings here. Let's see what's up with that 10 of Wands. Definitely some tough situations and issues happening here. So what's up with that 10 of Wands? And you know me, I always like to throw a silver lining on it. Like, it's not all rough in the streets here. Yeah. And this wasn't, like, the best surprise here. We have the Tower in the upright underneath this 10 of Wands. Okay, something that just came out of nowhere, right? That's the energy of shock. So when we connect it to the tough situations and stuff like that, they could be saying, like, hey, this may have been a situation that shocked you. Like, you didn't see it coming. And it's a lot. Like, it's a lot to carry. It's a lot to burden. There's some sort of big burden. Okay, like, especially with how this all lined up, maybe this is the fallout from a tough decision that somebody made or a judgment call. But whenever we see the Tower, we think of the foundation shifting, especially when we have the Tower underneath a 10. 10s represent the close of a cycle. So this could be speaking about an ending, a closeout of some sort. And whenever we get Tower energy, yes, it's like hitting the reset button, but it's not the easiest to rebound from. However, you can and will rebuild the foundation in some way or fashion, right? Like, because I'm seeing various different things, and it's not the softest energy overall, but the Tower capping it off is like, okay, we're going to wipe this slate clean. Even though it was shocking or surprising, or you didn't see it coming, whatever it might be, this Tower says that foundation had cracks and it needed to be pushed out. So let's talk about this thing as a whole, because especially now that we have Tower energy, shocking energy, all the things combined together, there could be several warnings here. But in position number 1, if you kindly look in the box, before we get into the shadow card, we have the 3 of Swords with the 2 of Cups. To me, this was 2 messages. Either someone that you have a soul connection with or a deep bond with is going through a very, very tough time, a challenging time. Or this could just represent you and someone that, even though you might care about them, you're like oil and water for whatever reason. Okay, there's a wedge in there. As we move forward, we have the King of Swords with Judgment in the upright. Like I said, it feels like some tough or serious situations could have been popping off. Someone might have had to make a judgment call, even if it didn't align with their heart, didn't align with what they wanted to do. It was tough, but it had to be done. Okay, whether that's you or somebody else, it's showing up here like, all right, this is what it needs to be. Now, moving to the very back end, we have the 10 of Wands with the Tower in the upright. Now the energy of shock coming in, the energy of cleaning the slate, hitting the reset button, clearing off the foundation, whether it was a shocking situation or whether it's just something that was so much to bear that came out of nowhere. It's showing up here, and we do have challenges throughout the whole spread, but that's okay. Life has those, right? We all go through these different archetypes at different times in life, myself included. So please take a screenshot of that. We're going to get you one shadow card. If you want to look into those further, please do. And I think you'll see what I mean. But yeah, we're going to see what's in the shadows for you, my friends. Shuffle it up and get into the shadows here for Cancer. Okay. We're going to hope for an energetic rebound on that next week. But let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull this last card at the very end. It's very introspective, whether it's connected to the main part of the spread or it's just something that's been around for quite a while. Yeah, the Tower again. So that tells me that a lot of the stuff I was saying about the Tower in the main part of the spread still reigns true. Like there might have been something that just needed to hit the reset button. Okay, like it's best for all involved. Now, when we see the Tower in the shadows, that could be spirit saying like, hey, whatever this is might linger for a little while. Okay, whether it's something that happened in the past and is still lingering. When it shows up in the shadows, that means like it's going to take a while to fully resolve this, and that's okay. Like there is no rush, there is no time limit on things like this. But the Tower is just hitting that reset button, okay? Maybe Spirit's asking you to analyze how you deal with Tower moments as well, okay? Like how you act, how you respond. So Cancer, that's what I have for you. I mean, some challenges this week, and it's all good, right? We'll go with the flow. But don't click away just yet. I'm going to give you the details of the May subscriber surprise. For the May subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 boxes of the beautiful Tarot of the Owls. This is an awesome deck. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed, which I'm sure you already are. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards in this week's reading, which one spoke to you the most. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, I will announce the winners in my community tab at random. As always, my friends, much love to you, and I'll see you next time.